we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams are the easiest way to look younger. Well, according to one doctor, that is old news. Dr. John Lakey is a world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, and he says that most wrinkle fixes on the market are just glorified moisturizers. Facts. That is facts. He said they hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin. So recently, Dr. Lakey has focused his attention away from the mainstream cosmetic procedures so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough. Lakey told reporters, "It's almost like Photoshop for your face. You may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view." His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lakey has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. Dr. Lakey commented, "If this helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped." Isn't that sweet? The video's gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but now it's racked up over 2,300,000 views and counting. So the comments and feedback are outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/speaks, or you can just click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/speaks. Now, there's one thing Dr. Lakey does ask from his viewers. He says, if watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/speaks right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. Today, we're going to start with a little bit of a story time, but if you are not interested and just want to get to part 3, the recap for Salt Lake City reunion part 3, I will put timestamps so you can just skip right there. For those who want to know what happened to part 2 and you missed the drama, this is what this story is about. So I posted the episode for part 2. I posted the recap. Some people were upset and offended that I shared what had been sent to me by so many people I assumed, quote, everybody knew. The internet dug up Bronwyn's daughter's father's identity, information, etc. I was sent a Reddit thread that had thousands and thousands of comments, and I was sent, I think, a TikTok that had a bunch of views, might have been a reel. But I was sent enough pieces of content or a forum of some kind where I saw like tons and tons of people were already talking about this. And I was personally receiving enough requests to talk about it. Honestly, the requests were to talk about it on my social media, make a video about it. I got requested a few times. But the only reason I don't like to always share stuff that's sensitive on social media is because it can get picked up and go viral and attract a bunch of people that I don't know. So a lot of the time I'll save certain topics for the show because I know that this show is not equivalent to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when it comes to like viewership or listenership. You know, I am so grateful for the platform and the community that I have, but I know that it's a controllable number. I know that personally. I know that about my show. So I know that when I come and I share something on the show, it's not ever intended to be anything but like, this is sensitive, so let's handle this together sort of a thing. Because I have a lot of like, I guess, trust in you guys. And I assume you have that trust in me. Well, what happened was on YouTube, the comments were, now this is the part that confused me. So many of the comments that were bad, and I mean, there weren't that many that were bad, but the ones that were bad were so cutting because it's like, you follow me, you subscribe to the channel, because this was on YouTube I'm speaking on. You subscribe to the channel, you got to know me. You got to know that I'm not going to be the person who warrants this comment. This comment came up a lot. The fact that you dug this up for content and wanting to go viral or something, like comments like that, where as if I went and sought the information out. I thought, to be honest, I thought I was late. I thought I was going to be talking about this and everybody was going to be like, yeah, we already know, and like have follow up. Like, well, did you see this? Because it had been out for that long and I had seen enough posts and things where I was like, oh, okay. Because I figured I was late and I was behind. But it offended these people. And as much as it hurt to hear some of you say things like, I was trying to, someone even said I did it for clickbait. The title of that episode wasn't even about, it wasn't like Gwen's father revealed. That's what clickbait is. I don't do clickbait ever. I probably should do more of it, honestly, but I don't. I don't know how to even, I just feel too dishonest. So the title of the episode had nothing to do with Bronwyn's daughter's father. It had to do with part 2 of the recap. And it's not like the whole episode was me talking about this guy. And it's not like it was to talk about the people that are on the show and could connect it and et cetera. So regardless, and even though I did not agree with these comments, I thought, you know what, if these people are triggered by me speaking on someone who's no longer with us, they probably have some painful reasons for that. And that's why they're lashing out and maybe forgetting that, you know me, I'm not like, I'm not Miss Clickbait, viral. That's just not me. So when I removed the episodes, I made a quickie video and I posted it also on the podcast. And I said, so people had issues with me talking about Bronwyn's daughter's father. So the best I can do is, because I couldn't just cut that part out, I mentioned it throughout the whole episode. So I wasn't going to be able to like trim it out. I thought about it, but I was like, it would just be impossible. So the best I can do is it's already up on the Patreon. So if anyone wants that, they can go and seek out the episode, because some of the people were saying that I was out here spreading it, trying to spread this information. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to spread it. I was just sharing it with people who I like, my people. That's what I thought I was doing. So that's me not spreading it. Okay, so the episode is done. I don't have time to record another one without that information in it. So if you want it, it's there, and that's where you can find it. That video explaining where you could find part 2 got the comments that I need to address. I don't usually maybe I do actually. Maybe I do call out comments a lot. But this one comment really summed up what I'm sure a lot of people wanted to say, which is just wild. One person said, so you shouldn't have done it to begin with, and now you're going to make money off it on Patreon. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do you think I only make money if people get a Patreon subscription? Even if you don't pay $1, I make money on YouTube. I make money on the podcast feed because it's free for you, but we've got to have a way to monetize as the creators, because it takes hours sometimes to make episodes, like 8 hours. If something goes wrong, I mean, it's a lot of work. And so that's the trade-off. You don't maybe have to pay $1, but here's some ads. Here's some ways for the creator to earn income. Yes, the Patreon, I love them so much because I can't believe anybody would put money towards my content. So I rely on YouTube and podcast feed income because, duh, like, you think that because you consume my content for free that I shouldn't make $1 on it because you don't like something I said? Why are you here? You're following a niche podcast YouTube channel with not a huge following. If you're on YouTube, you see my numbers. It's not like I'm big, gigantic Bravo TV level. And to say that I shouldn't make any money on an episode that I put time into, it was just a recap, was really grotesque to me and really off. Because actually, I lost money taking it off my main feeds. I didn't do it for money. But the only way not to spread something is not to offer it for free and put it behind a paywall. That's the best I could do. Usually when I get feedback that I don't necessarily understand, I can sit back and I can say, look, I am sorry. I shouldn't have maybe done this or that. I've done that in the past. And if you've been following me for a while, you can attest to that. But this time, I'm not sorry. There's too many people who requested it, too many people who still consumed the content and had nothing to say. But I feel like those that were offended forgot who I was. And it's this, I see this online all the time. Some people want to think the worst in creators. It's so gross that you did this for content. Have you forgotten who you're following? I know when I've made mistakes and I've owned up to them for sure. I don't think that that was that obscure because I purposely didn't post it on my social media for fear that it would possibly take off. And I'm like, I don't really want to be like, I don't want a video to go viral for that reason. Like, that's just not, I never make content like that. This was for me, for my show, for you guys, the ones who normally consume it. And I thought that that would, maybe that's because I know this side of it and I see my numbers and I know what I do, and especially on YouTube. Like, so that's why part 2 was taken down. And I had to delete the video and the episode of me explaining where to go find it, go to the Patreon, etc., because somebody reported that video on YouTube. Someone reported it. It had no information, and they reported it for privacy concerns. There was no information shared. Privacy concerns have to do usually with information about a minor being discussed. So I just deleted it. I'm like, I am not giving anybody the opportunity to like flag me. I'm not even going to let anybody go write a bunch of bad Apple podcast reviews. Like, forget it. It's just gone because this is what's happened with the Salt Lake City fandom. The extremes are too much. It's giving Jersey. It's giving Potomac. It's just not fun. You lose perspective. That's what this show is. Salt Lake City has got people losing perspective. It is like, take a step back from this. It's all kind of nuts. And it's tough to see some of you become like the morality police, where I'm like, if you consume these shows and you consume people that talk about these shows, then I don't really know if anyone is fit to be like teachable moment. All that being said, I want to thank the rest of you. I am really grateful for what I do have. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be one of these Bravo Lebs friends. I just like doing this. I love connecting with you guys, producing my own thing, and having it be my voice and getting to hear from you guys. I like that. This is what I enjoy doing. I'm not chasing clout or anything like that. I could have done that, I'm sure. But I am so grateful for those of you who like this show and like the community that we have and connect with me and all of that. So I am grateful as hell. And I hope I say that enough, because every day at least 5 times a day, I'm like, I cannot believe that people listen and watch. This whole show started because I had no self-esteem. I was really depressed. And my therapist was sick of me saying, I want to start a podcast. I want to start a podcast. And she said, all right, by the next session, you have to have started your podcast. And because I wanted to be her favorite, I was like, I will. And so I did. And at first I did a couple episodes and I was like, this is dumb. I feel stupid. But then I stopped and got requests to do more. So then I was like, all right, I'll put my effort into it. And so I put so much effort into the show then. And slowly it's just grown and grown. And I'm really grateful for everyone who's been here from the beginning and the people that are new finding me now. So I just wanted to say that and end on a positive note before we get into the mess of part 3. Okay? I love you guys. Let's do it. Brittany. Brittany is a lot. And I want to be into her, and I'm sure she'll be back for as a friend of, but she's a lot, and I have a really hard time with women like her. I do. She's like, "I wanted a grand entrance." And they're like, "No, sit down. They don't have time to wait for you to walk in." And then she's like, "We are broken up. Me and Jared, we are broken up." He was still texting single girls and deleting texts and blah, 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 whatever. But Bronwyn is like, okay, the thing that's confusing though is that he writes all this awful shit about you on Twitter and you're just staying with him. Now, I forgot how bad this was from Jared. I I think Bravo and Cocktails was where I first saw this, and I thought he had sent her a message. I didn't realize that this was his tweet. And the tweet is, and I realize I'm oversharing a little bit. The fascinating part of Britney's story is that she adds so much drama for no reason, truly in an attempt to be relevant. Well, that's true. If you want to know the truth on our history, I have never walked away from her. I've never broken up with her. I've always been steady, spoiled her over the last year, paid for everything, and have been a true gentleman. She is so damaged from her past relationships that she makes me out to be the bad guy. She's scared that I won't put a ring on her finger and I want to just play. So rather than just steadily stay with me and work through all of the dating issues that pop up, she runs like a scared child. I need to date a stable woman. Okay. So that alone on Twitter, Doug, you should be done. But then Bronwyn's like, and what about the message he sent me? Do you want me to read what your man sent me? And Brittany's like, no, I already know. But Andy goes, I want to hear it. And Mary looks, Andy wants to hear it, babe. And then she goes, all right, well, do you want me to read the worst parts or the whole thing? The whole thing. The whole thing. Andy loved that. Andy thought Andy and Mary have a really cute dynamic, don't they? My goodness, how cute are they? So Bronwyn then reads the message. The fact that he calls her a little bitch. Oh, wait, and on Twitter, he said to her, hold on, that there is something really off about you. I think I figured you out. You are a tragic little bitch. Bronwyn said it was treacherous little bitch, but it's tragic, which is I don't know why, even grosser. Treacherous at least is a more intelligent word. Tragic is just, and stop calling women bitches. But here's Brittany over here like, no, it is 1000% over. And then the editors with the shady edit, they went Instagram official, which we all were like, so that he wants to make sure she gets her contract because he wants to be back on the show. And even though over here, Brittany's like, no, it wasn't. He was doing it to support me. Girl, he was circling around Angie's party waiting for an invitation. And when he got one, he was like there in 2 minutes. He was thirsty to be on that show. All right. But then Brittany goes to a place that I don't know how to recover. She claims Bronwyn was responsible for her daughters blocking her and not speaking to her. And everyone was a little confused because we all thought you talked about it on the show. So therefore, so you came into filming estranged from your daughters, but what Bronwyn did on the show, which didn't even start airing until a year later, maybe, whatever it was, then your daughters blocked you. And so Andy's like, hold on, you talked to casting about it. So how is Bronwyn responsible? It was really hard to follow, but Brittany's claiming that Bronwyn spoke so badly about her to her friends who I guess know Brittany's girls, and Bronwyn's adult friends sat Brittany's children down and this is what they said, allegedly. They said, your mom says you're jealous of her, and your mom says that you ruined her second marriage. Who would say that? Even if they were teenagers. I saw someone arguing in the comments on my post about it, like, well, they're not kids or they're not babies. I'm like, but I don't care. What grown woman wants to sit the children of someone down and say, but not even like say, we're concerned for you, we love you, like we're here for you, but your mom says you're jealous of her. What? Lord almighty. But Andy again is like, okay, I still don't get this. And so Brittany was clearly lying. She's like, it was touch and go. It was touch and go. But then Bronwyn passed information through your friends. Well, then they show her casting tape, and that rubbed me the wrong way. That rubbed me real wrong when she said, so I have two daughters, but they're not speaking to me. And then she kind of giggles and she's like, huh. So a lot of drama. Okay. What? That wasn't, I don't, it seemed like she thought about it and was like drama for the show. Like you could totally use it on the show. I did not like it. The way she went, so I have two daughters who don't speak to me. So lots of drama. Nope. Don't like it. Don't like it one bit. And at first, Brittany said it was 6 months my daughters wouldn't talk to me. Well, then when Andy is like, okay, it sounds like you're hanging it all on Bronwyn, and that doesn't seem fair. I am hanging those 3 months on her, yes. Oh, now it's 3. Thought it was 6. Bullshit. Sorry, I'm really irritated by her. But then she practiced this line. You can deny it all you want, but I think you've got some things to pay for. Girl, okay. All right, then they go to Brittany's package, and it becomes a topic of how to be a good Mormon because it's about like Angie bringing the wine and whatever. The only part that was funny is that Lisa got really uncomfortable here because, Lisa claims that she's Mormon and she drinks and she wears revealing clothing and whatever. And it always makes me confused because Heather has a whole book about how she was Mormon and now she's a bad Mormon because she does all those things. Yet Lisa and some of the secret lives of Mormon wives girls, the mom talk girls, they kind of, there's like half of them are cool being able to drink and stuff and they can still go to church and they're fine, they're let in. Like, why were some people, like, I would be pissed. Like, if I was those Mormons, like even Bronwyn, when, what's his name? Jack, right? Yeah, Jack was going on his mission and Bronwyn was hearing Lisa talk about the mission. Bronwyn said, okay, very different than the one I went on. And Bronwyn's only in her 30s, so it's not like it's some huge revolution has taken place somewhat recently, it seems. Because I would feel so pissed if I was Bronwyn. I was like, I had to go on the most painful mission. Lisa, Heather too. These horrible missions that were like torture, and here's Jack living it up. It sounds like in Colombia. So the Mormonism has changed, but I think I just feel really bad for people like Heather who lost everything, were exiled from their whole home. And then there's Lisa over here with Vita Tequila talking about how she's a Mormon. I bet it's really annoying. But then this also brought out a side of Mary. I don't like when people say you're sinning and they mean it for real because I'm just not an organized religion type of person. And I don't like someone, I guess Mary's a church leader, so she can say it. But when Angie gets in the mud with her a little bit, Angie's like, I am my religion 7 days a week, 24/7. And Mary goes, who cares? You have to prove it to her. She's sinning. Who cares? All right. I don't love that. I forget Angie's very conservative. They get into the Bronwyn-Lisa feud about like the villa and whatever. And it just becomes so repetitive at reunions that I was like, I don't even care at this point. We've essentially talked about this already. But regarding the trip, Whitney saying that Lisa returns her clothes, Angie goes, Whitney, where did you hear that? And Whitney says, someone at Nordstrom's. And that is when I knew first of all, Lisa said this about your friend Maylee. So what are you doing? You're copying what Lisa literally said about Maylee. So that's weird, right? But I know Lisa's not shopping at Nordstrom's. I knew that. As soon as she said someone at Nordstrom's, I was like, she doesn't, this bitch is wearing like Fendi off the runway. She is not going to Nordstrom's to pick up anything. Okay, that was so embarrassing. Like, Whitney, no one believed that. But you see how, like, Whitney, that's the type of shit you do. You make up weird things like this, and then you're like, I just want to be friends with Lisa. How? What? No. The thing about the human body is as you age, your body's natural healing and building processes slow down. It's just what happens. But there's something we can do about it. A collagen supplement from Ancient Nutrition can help you look and feel your best. Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean supplement contains 10 types of collagen from 10 real food-based sources. This formula is powered by clinically studied ingredients that promote fat loss and healthy weight management, as well as build lean muscle. Collagen can also reduce joint discomfort and improve the look of your skin, your hair, your nails. Hello. Plus, Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean is delicious, and it's easy to work into your daily routine. You can mix it into your coffee. You can make a matcha. You can make a smoothie. I know how important it is to have a collagen supplement in your rotation, but I've personally never seen a collagen supplement that also comes with these other ingredients that promote fat loss, healthy weight management, lean muscle. Okay, I'll take it. I feel a huge difference in my joints too. Right now, Ancient Nutrition is offering 25% off your first order when you go to ancientnutrition.com/she-speaks. That's ancientnutrition.com/she-speaks for 25% off your first order. ancientnutrition.com/she-speaks. Then, unfortunately, there's just no resolve at all with the thing with Lisa and Angie, where Angie was like, I know more about Bronwyn than I know about you. Lisa couldn't land the plane to explain what was making her upset. Lisa just wanted to be proven right that she was actually just trying to mediate between Meredith and Angie, but that wasn't necessary. You didn't have to do that. But Lisa thinks she's helping. That's a through line for Lisa, actually. Like when she tried to reunite John with his birth parents and it went so horribly, even though he was like, don't. She's like, no, you'll like it, John. Trust me. So she was like, I was trying to mediate, like, sometimes, like, when you feel comfortable with someone, like, you can open up. No, it's fine. The real issue, though, is that Angie's being a bitch. I think that was a bitchy thing for Angie to have said. Like, I know more about Bronwyn. I see throughout this reunion, actually, let me get to it because I think it's coming up. Put a pin in it. You don't know what I was going to say, but put a pin in it. Okay. Andy asks Bronwyn if Lisa likes to play the victim and does she have trouble having empathy for others. Bronwyn says, well, she takes things more seriously when it comes to her. Things were said about my marriage and you didn't have a reaction, but when it's your marriage, things get thrown and you talk about Angie. I'm confused as to what Bronwyn wanted from Lisa. And now this is where sometimes I wish the editing, they can only fit so many things in. But Lisa's like, I actually did defend you. And they show this unseen clip of Lisa telling Heather and Meredith at the day spa, I completely believe their relationship. I think he's obsessed with her and adores her. And I think she's smart. I think she worked in fine, like all that. And it looked legit to me. It did. So she was sticking up for it. But then Lisa's correct to say, but then I stick up for your marriage and we're getting mind fucked because you're like, fuck Todd later. And Bronwyn's like, I can say whatever I want to say about my marriage. You absolutely can. But Lisa's response now to me does make a little bit more sense. I never really turned on Lisa the way the audience did. Like that Watch What Happens Live poll was like, whose side are you on? And it was like 0% Lisa. But I thought once you take yourself out of like the immediate feeling and just observe the scene, it was a little odd that Bronwyn busted that out and how she's backtracked it so much. And Lisa was just confused and probably didn't want to get in trouble on camera saying the wrong thing. However, she ended up in trouble on camera for making it seem like she couldn't give a shit about Bronwyn. So, trickery. But then Lisa's like, when have you stuck up for me? And I'm like, well, but girl, we saw the hike with Whitney and Angie and her saying, I have never seen that side of Lisa. But then also at the Bezos party with Whitney. But that was very early on and like now, and that ended pretty quickly. So I don't know. Bronwyn had a weird fixation with Lisa, it seems. When they get on the topic of the Brittany Meredith throwing up thing, Brittany's like, the sound of someone throwing up is indistinguishable. Meredith busts out a voice that I've never. Brittany, you are a liar. You are a liar. I am not going to let you spread lies about me. You are a liar. Then the eating disorder leap, when I'm glad that Andy was like, "Now the eating disorder thing, like, you can throw up for any reason, could have been, but if it was like, if it did, this is Brittany's fault." I know I've repeated myself a few times on this, but, like, Brittany presented it like, "I heard Meredith throwing up." It's like, if you thought maybe she had food poisoning, why would you bring it up like that? You know? And if you talked to Meredith and she was like, "I wasn't throwing up," it's like, "All right, let it go." But why did you wanted to turn it into something, right? Because it's like, yeah, she could have been throwing up for really any reason, nothing scandalous. But when you present it like, "Are you okay? I heard you throwing up last night." She took it to a place, right? Well, then they get on the topic of the recording. This was just embarrassing. She's like, "I don't mean to throw editing under the bus, but it was just a few seconds." And Andy's like, "What? No." And then they show the clip and it's like it was 20 seconds and the only reason you stopped was because Angie called you out. You hear Angie saying, "Hold on, Brittany, why are you recording?" Click, turns it off. So, whatever. But then Brittany, she's like, "That was abusive and I'll never get over it." And Mary goes, "Well, get over it, babe. It happened and it's done. Hopefully you are too." I'm here, like, I don't like Brittany at all, so I like Mary's commentary on Brittany. So I I'm here for her, talking to her however she wants to talk to her. Andy's like, "Mary, why did it bother you, that Angie went after Brittany, considering she knew how you felt about her?" And Brittany goes, "I didn't know how you felt about me because I like you, and I'm sad you don't like me." Whatever. Mary, you asked. Mary goes, "I just don't think you're honest about anything, and you don't take accountability, and you're just not matured." And at first, Brittany's like, "What do you mean I'm honest? What do you, oh, like, oh, yeah, I'm not, that might be true. I'm not very mature." My God. And Mary goes, "You're kind of lopsided for me. I have enough going on in my life. I don't need another wreck." Yes, Mary. Yes. Oh, Andy. Oh, I loved this. Andy, I'm so glad he brought this up. He brings up Meredith receiving a phone call from Jen. And Whitney's like, "How is that any worse than me talking to Monica? I didn't seek Jen out to dig up dirt on my friends." And then Whitney, I don't think they really focused on it, but this was her response. "I didn't dig dirt. I was looking for a receipt." That's the same thing. And you didn't even get one because you didn't show anybody. What was the receipt? Where was Monica's receipt? Was it just Monica saying, "It's pretty known that Lisa leaks things to media outlets"? That's it? That's all you got? That was your proof? No, not gonna work. I was relieved that Mary is so adamantly against Meredith forgiving Jen, and I'm so grateful to know that Mary, would leave the show if they decided to try to bring Jen back. And that would make them not bring her back. Now, I really don't know if it's just us being paranoid that they're gonna wanna bring Jen back. I wonder if maybe they couldn't even, like, legally, because it's just I don't know. But it was really, I'm happy to know that, because you've heard Lisa got busted. I think Whitney says something like, "Heather, are you on Jen's call list?" And Heather's like, "No." And then, "Lisa, are you?" And Lisa doesn't look at whoever asked and just goes, "No, but you just talked about talking to her, didn't she? Did I make that up? Didn't she just say, 'I got a call from Jen' recently, somewhat?" So it was starting to worry me that both Meredith and Lisa were kind of like, "Maybe we're talking to Jen a little bit." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We're done." So I was grateful that Mary was like, "Absolutely not. She harassed us." But then Meredith is going with the, "She's served her time. She doesn't deserve a second chance" type of thing. But nah, some people go too far. And then Mary says it perfect. She lied all the way up until the day she couldn't. She said that you and I, and then she's like, she said you and I did something to make her go to prison. Hello, wake up. I would have said, "No, I'm not taking your call, Jen Shaw." Meredith has the nerve to say, "I've forgiven. I forgive everybody." You hold grudges, Meredith. You do. You do. I feel like knowing Jen and having Jen call from prison must be a very confusing thing, though. Because Meredith, remember, that flip was quick. That flip felt very um, calculated for the show from Meredith, because the season where Meredith and Lisa have their first riff with like the hot mic and all that, that reunion is where you see the flip from Meredith to Jen, and then they go into the next season like buddy allies. And then they were that way all the way until Jen went in. And, Meredith was very funny at first when production would ask her, like, have you talked to Jen? She'd be like, I mean, how can I? She's in prison. And now she's getting phone calls from her, and she's kind of like doing one of them, nah, not cool. Somehow Angie relates this back to Meredith throwing her out of her bat mitzvah. And I didn't know the connection. I didn't understand the connection. But within this topic, Mary, because she's sticking up for her friend Angie, she goes, Meredith, can you take any accountability for that? And Meredith goes, I did. I apologized to her in Mexico. Now, Mary wasn't there. So Mary looks confused, and she looks at Angie and goes, she did? And Angie's like, yeah, she kind of, and then Mary's like, well, then you have to accept her apology and move on. And this is what I was going to say earlier. And then I said, put a pin in it. I see Mary, if she can't get Angie to knock off that really messy shit that she does, because even Mary's like, she holds grudges. And Angie's like, thanks, Mary. She does. She holds grudges. But she does. And I think that if Mary can get her to stop doing that, because Whitney fed into it, that side of Angie, real bad, but Mary won't. And Mary is just being, I think, a good friend, because Angie and her have been friends outside of filming, have all their inside things together. And so now bringing it into this group, Mary at first was so disconnected from the group and just really was friends with Angie and was just going off of what probably Angie and Whitney were telling her. Now that she's seeing all the information, I'm thinking that if Angie cannot do it, if she can't get it together, it'll be a problem for Mary. She'll get really irritated. And that is something that I cannot wait to see, because I feel like they could come and have like a really cool moment, or it's like, Angie, you got to stop. You do, like, some of the shit you did just goes too far. And then she's all confused as to why it happened. But I still like Angie, as much as she's super problematic and has said a lot of fucked up stuff. I do think that Angie deep down really is a loving, kind person. She is just needing some major therapy to deal with all of her mom stuff, because it puts her on hyper defense all the time and then attack. And who knows, maybe her mom was kind of mean when she was drunk or something. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, get her in some therapy, tune her up just in that one little arena, be awesome. But Mary is definitely a good influence for Angie. Whitney is not. All right. Andy asks Meredith why she was hurt by Mary saying she's cold. Meredith goes, I'm sorry, I don't even remember what you're talking. When did that happen? Now, I was really confused, because Mary goes, I said it in Mexico. And you were like, me, Mary? And you were pitiful. Okay, well, that was unnecessary to say pitiful. But I got confused, because Meredith's like, I don't think I'm cold. And then Mary says, you are. And then Brittany chimes in and goes, we were so nice to you when you came in, Mary. Do you remember? What do you have to do with this? What are you referring to? Like, they're talking about something, and then now what are you talking about? And so Mary goes, I have known you 2 seconds, okay? I'm going to need you to stop talking. I was so nice to you. I pulled out a chair for you. I told you to sit down. Mary's like talking to other people. She's like, I don't know this lady. I don't know this lady. Why is she talking to me? I was so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I thought that they were talking about what Mary said about them being cold. And I don't, what are you now talking about? Okay, Heather's text game. This gets the Lisa Whitney back and forth on this is just exhausting. But one of the like prompts that Andy has, or one of the things Andy says is, everyone else did the game. Like, did you not realize that was the game? I don't have to do what everybody else does. I'm my own person. Okay, I'm my own person. But Bronwyn steps in somehow and says that Lisa almost pulled something out of her phone about her tonight. You're still doing this to people. That just for me was like, oh, Bronwyn has held on to that, because when Lisa busted out that text from Emma, Bronwyn has not gotten over it. Because I'm sorry, I know you guys want to defend, but Bronwyn is busted. She is. She acted like she had the necklace. I thought I was going to wear it tonight to shut people up, but you don't have the necklace. And then you weren't going to wear the earring. And so you have them send someone down to Palm Springs to show you this jewelry, and you allegedly commissioned something, but then now you're filming the reunion, and now you're saying, actually, yeah, no, I have it. I'll wear it. And then watch what happens live. No, I never bought anything. Girl, you lied. I have a feeling that you guys are maybe known for doing that, looking at pretty things and not actually pulling the trigger, because it seemed like that was what Emma was pissed about. Like, she's been doing this now forever. I give her the jewelry. She doesn't come. Like, Todd's supposed to buy it for her, whatever. And maybe it's a Todd thing. Maybe Todd's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he doesn't. And I don't know. And it's not Bronwyn's money. And I've noted before that Bronwyn has a little bit of a thing with money, it seems, because she's always pointing out what she spent, like on that trip. But anyway, meanwhile, while that's happening, Whitney's screaming, I want to burn this with Lisa Barlow. Whitney's doing the most and still being the least interesting, because it's so obvious she's creating fake shit. Okay. This goes back and forth for a period of time. It's pretty exhausting. But then Lisa has this little monologue here that is kind of crazy. She goes, you guys have fucked me over so many times that it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to be myself. I am one of 6 kids. I disappeared in my family. I could have been trafficked and my parents wouldn't have noticed. That is just such a specific thing to say. Not kidnapped. I mean, I guess that's the new thing you go to, but like, what? And also, remember when Lisa said that she didn't like camp because she didn't like being away from her parents? I think that this is a thing for Lisa, like not feeling important with her parents and like wanting to be around them and whatever or something. I don't know, but wasn't that crazy? I could have been trafficked and my parents wouldn't have known. What a wild things to say. Honestly, this goes back and forth some more. Bronwyn shakes her head. It's about the jeweler. But then Whitney because Bronwyn at this point should have just stopped being involved. This was between Whitney and Lisa, but whatever. Whitney then goes over to Lisa's couch, and this really pissed me off that this was not more addressed on the damn show. Like, it really pisses me off because Lisa's bringing up the Alibaba thing. And Whitney's trying to shut her down, but then Meredith finally gets a chance to step in and explain it. And she's like, Whitney, you brought up stuff about Lisa at our lunch, and I warned you to be sure to check the facts before bringing it out. And Whitney goes, got it. We'll address that later. No, we want to address this right now. This wasn't addressed at all. Isn't it crazy that they didn't once say, so this podcaster went on his own YouTube channel and podcast and said that he didn't say that. So Whitney, why are you saying he said it? What did he really say? Like, why is none of that getting discussed? That's wild. They haven't even said the man by name, but they could have been like, that guy went on and said, and it's another person, the person who posted the Alibaba thing, Dana, she said that it wasn't Lisa. So what do you say now, Whitney? But she never had to answer for it. That's crazy. It was an entire that lets me know that they did try to fuck up editing and that's what it makes me feel. It makes me feel like they did finagle it, Franken edit the scene to make it sound like that's what Up and Adam was saying, because they didn't even want it addressed. Andy shuts it down. That's wild. And Whitney, that's why you're in final chair. Whitney tried her might to have enough going on this season, and she still got that last chair. Okay. But like, you did all of that, and they didn't. I really wanted them to have Whitney answer for that. Explain it. Huh? Take it back. Say it couldn't have been Lisa. Say it. It's just, Whitney, you drive me crazy. And so Andy cuts them off. And Whitney, as she's walking back to her seat, goes, I just don't think it's fair that I have to take accountability and she doesn't have to. But you're not taking accountability. You presented what you should have done in that moment. Instead of handing her the text about John, is you should have handed the text about the Alibaba thing and been like, I want to burn it. Because that's the only thing that was really pressing between you two at this point. But instead, you pulled out this bullshit about John. Anyway. But this ends up, thank God, in some kind of a resolution. Because Lisa finally calms down and says, we do have disagreements, but I love you. And they go back and forth. And Whitney goes, and I have a lot of love and respect for you too. And Andy goes, don't ruin it. But then Whitney just whispers, I hope you can let it go. And Lisa goes, I won't bring it up again. And then Whitney claims, I won't either. And then Lisa, this is the truth. And if you do, it'll be ignited. Gas. Okay, then don't call me a liar. Ignited. Gas. But, okay, she's going to call you a liar if you're lying, though. So, Whitney, you can't put that rule in there if you're going to lie. Because, you did, bitch. You did. All right, Andy gives them their closing segment game. Say the best thing that comes to mind about this person. Brittany is in the goddamn back going, what am I doing? I should be out there. I want nice stuff said about me too. Bitch. I imagine what who would have said a nice thing about Brittany at that point? Heather. All right, Heather, you come up with something. I love Mary asking Andy to do hers. And then she returns it. Oh, you're a star. You're intelligent. You're smart. You're a beautiful father. You're inspirational. And I love how you support me. I feel your support. He was about to cry, but he was holding it in. He told Mary that this reunion was the first time he'd cried at a reunion. We've seen him tear up, though. We've seen him wipe some tears away. Maybe it's the first time he's cried that you could hear him cry. I don't think I've ever heard his voice crack. I've never heard Andy's cry voice. And when he said that Robert Jr. said he was a stain and he said it and he couldn't even get it out without crying, that is a first. We've not seen that happen. So anyway, that is the end of this amazing season. I have rewatched this season so many freaking times. I can't even count. I'm not even joking. It's just so good, so insane, so crazy. And I know they're all going to be back. They're too good. They were too good. The season did too well for them not to just bring everyone back. So thank you, Salt Lake City, season 5. And thank you guys, for sticking it out. I love you so, so much. Mean it. And I will see you Sunday for the wrap up with Kendrick. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.